it's Raul. It's been 2 months since my last episode. We've been in the middle of the dog days of summer down here in South Louisiana. The only thing left in the garden now is bell peppers and Italian peppers. Those are the last of the cucumbers. Another batch of paste tomatoes were processed. The final total, 4.5 gallons of tomato puree. I'll be cooking a big pot of spaghetti sauce when the weather cools off. On July 13th and 14th, Hurricane Barry moved through southeastern Louisiana. It came within about 130 miles west of my location. I received some wind the first day and quite a bit of rain the second day. The wind pulled most of my shade cloth off of the garden. So I folded it up and stored it for next season. The heat and humidity has taken its toll on the tomatoes. They have stopped setting fruit long ago, and now disease has taken over. It's time to remove the plants and clean up that section of the garden. I use my cane knife to cut the jute string that I use to tie the tomatoes to the stakes, and then pull up the root ball from the ground. Chamber bitters is a very common weed across the entire southeastern U.S. and my garden is no exception. I try to pull them during the season, but sometimes this time of year they get way out of hand. I think I'll try something new this year and cover the garden with black plastic while the temperatures are still hot. Here you can see the root system that is created from my technique of planting the plants deep into the ground. Both rows of tomato plants are now removed. Next, I'll remove the shade cloth support. Now it's time to remove the rebar stakes. I use a T-post puller that I purchased from Harbor Freight many years ago. It no longer appears to be available from Harbor Freight, but I have seen comparable items in a Google search. This tool makes it a very simple and easy process to pull the tomato stakes from the garden. I'll use many of the stakes to hold down the edges of the polyethylene plastic that I'll cover the garden with later. The heat and the humidity have also impacted the butter beans and green beans. While the plants are still alive, they are no longer flowering. If kept alive, they would likely start flowering again in the fall. But I'm choosing to clean them out of the garden now. The cucumbers have died off from the heat. The bell peppers continue to flower and produce. They usually last until the first frost. Please subscribe to my channel and continue following this year's journey. In my next episode, I'll continue cleaning up the garden.